nobody, I did not live in any concert going environment. I went to few concerts myself. Very few.
Okay. How did your parents react when you told them you were going to become a professional musician? Did that...
I don't think I ever told them I'm going to become a
It was an evolution?
Let me tell you how it worked. I'll just tell you how it worked actually, how I sort of got into being a teacher or a so-called professional musician. First of all, I was a good player, and I did get, when I was very young, little professional jobs. First of all, I played a little saxophone. So I was able to go I was able to play little jobs, bar mitzvahs, weddings, dances, and I played little jobs. My own teacher would take me on a job, but he was an Italian teacher, and his jobs mostly were feasts.
What's his name?
His name was Dominic Tramontano. I better spell it to you. Dominic, D-O-M-I-N-I-C. Tramontano, T-R-A-M-O-N-T-A-N-O. Dominic Tramontano.
He was your very first teacher.
We didn't have programs in the school that you could study at school. You know what I mean? You get a rental instrument. Well, you had to study either. You didn't study privately, you didn't study at all. And I can remember him to this day. He was a thin man. He was, you see, again, there was another tragedy happening to musicians at the time, because vaudeville was on the way out. Now remember that every house had vaudeville, and they had a small orchestra for vaudeville. It was a great skill to play vaudeville, because they got scraps of music from the actors and had to put them together in no time with no rehearsal. And all these acts, music was played twice as fast. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Entrances. It was really a skill to play it and a skill to conduct it. And he played and conducted at those things. And he was not a great clarinet player, but he was my first teacher. And he thought I was his genius. And he was going to really make...
How old were you then?
I was just 14 when I started on the clarinet. Anyhow, by the time I was in school, I was considered a good clarinet player. I was the first clarinet player in the band. But it wasn't the way it is now, I mean, there weren't that many. The competition wasn't as keen. Mm-hmm. It was very different. Standards were very much lower. My greatest achievement was to play the cadenzas in morning, noon, nights in Vienna, or the port and the peasants. I think Feynman says the same thing in one of his things. He went through the same thing. But the main thing that my Italian teacher did was take me on the feasts, called fiestas. The fiestas was a saint's day, usually in a small Italian, either community in the city, but mostly we worked on Long Island, where they had these small towns with little Italian communities, and on Saint So-and-so's day, Saint So-and-so's day, the whole city would be decked in Christmas-like decorations, and they would have stands selling various Italian foods and things like that, and all kind of equipment, and music was a big part of the day. But the music usually consists, in the morning you got up early in the morning. Incidentally, the fee for this was about $3 a day, plus all the vino you could drink. And, well, $3 a day was not like it is now. I mean, $3 a day, you could do something big, really. So, in the morning we'd get up, we'd be a few straggling musicians, a band, not a full band like that. Maybe.
What's the instrumentation?
Oh, who could remember? Maybe 3 clarinets or 4 clarinets, a trumpet, a trombone, bass fiddle, whatever they could get together. But it wasn't like a 50-piece band, more like a 12 or 15-piece band, Sometimes more, sometimes less. Sometimes we would join. But the function of the band was to lead the parade during the day through the town, where they held up the saint. They carried an effigy of the saint. And then they had flags of designating what saint it was and all about the saint. And then a big blanket almost was carried by 4 people, in which you threw money or pinned it on the not on the saint itself. You pinned it on the banner. So we stopped in front of, incidentally, to show you how ignorant I was, it was before my communist days. And fascism had started with Mussolini already in Italy, Il Duce. And all the Italians were fascists. I all again qualify that and say a very large majority of the time, they didn't know what was really going on. They were Americans, it was like fascism as Italy was
national pride.
National pride, of course. And I remember we marched and we played the fascist anthem, which I did. If I was a communist at the time, I would have quit the job.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was playing. We marched through the streets, all these fascist things, and we played through the streets. We stopped at every house. They'd bring out a drink of wine for the musicians and paste money on the banner, and we marched to the next house, through the whole town, And we did that all day. It took all day. And then some house would come and they'd sit the musicians down for some more wine and maybe some spaghetti and meatballs and stuff like that. Very delicious. And we'd get up and march again, and we'd have a little time off, and the evening was fireworks.
Hold it, I'm not going to let that go by. Spaghetti and meatballs, it's got tomatoes in it.
That was the first time I learned to eat them. I had to eat them out of desperation because there was nothing else that I could eat. And so I barely tasted it for one night. And then,
but you like the meat part of it?
Meat part of it I could eat. Even now I sort of scraped off all the sauce.
Now, what neighborhoods are we talking about here?
We're talking about Rockville Center in Long Island, talking about Hicksville in Long Island, and talking about Valley Stream, talking about all the little towns in mostly on the south. That's where I did my work. Which it happens all over. It happens every day in Mulberry Street in New York, where the Italians live mostly.
Little Italy.
Little Italy, right. But it's even not Little Italy. And other religions have the same thing. They have feasts. The Greeks have it for their days, It's a standard kind of a thing. But that was a good money on. He used to earn a lot of money because he would get close to union scale and pay the musicians way under scale.
Yeah.
See what I mean? That was standard. Otherwise, he couldn't make that. Plus his teaching. You know what I mean? Plus, if you got a book, he made a little profit. He got you the book. He made a few cents on the book. He charged you the fullest price, and maybe he got 10% off on the music. He was perfectly legitimate. And but I was his pride and joy. And so I worked. Those were the jobs I worked. Also, I was the good clarinet player, so I would get other jobs when high schools had their graduation. They didn't have a good clarinet player. I would be called to do the graduation, or if they put on the Mikado or something like that.
How did the word get out? How did these people contact you?
Word gets out by word of mouth, and I don't know. I almost forgot to tell you the most important thing of all. I was a good player and a fast player and a good reader. I could play the Flight of the Bumblebee. And so there was a program called the Major Bowes Amateur Hour. I'm sure you may have heard of it.
Yes, I have.
And the Major Bowes Amateur Hour would have one-man bands or a double amputee baseball pitcher, or they would have jugglers and singers and certainly all kind of whistlers. People playing penny whistles, all those funny kind of musical saw champions.
Kind of like the Gong Show.
Yeah, but it was a real amateur hour, and you wrote an application, and you said what you could do, and you were called to do it. And I remember the experience rather vividly. I went to I was accepted for an audition. I played the audition, and I was accepted on the show. And the night of the show, I went and I practiced the Flight of the Bumblebee, and I played the Flight of the Bumblebee, and I think I won either first or second prize. I don't remember which it was, But I got a lot of letters, and my reputation became good, and I was supposed to go, part of the job was supposed to go on tour and stuff like that. But generally that little thing petered out.
Were you still in high school at this time?
Yeah.
How long had you been playing, you think?
Oh, I must have been playing, from 14, so I must have been playing for 4 or 5 years. I was a very good technician from the beginning. You know what I mean? That's all we learned. I'd like to stay more on my Tramontano. So he gave me these jobs, and I was his pride and joy. He would come to the house for a lesson, and the only thing is that his car, out of 5 trips, he would have 6 flat tires on 5 trips. Because that always used to explain why he was late. He said the car that got the flat tire, I stuck on the road, I couldn't come. So he came to the house, he was late usually because he was out finagling up some kind of work. He used to teach me the standard Italian repertoire, the literature. We never learned the pieces there. We never got the pieces. I would buy on my own, let's have music, or everybody's favorites, those tune books.
Yeah.
We never ever got to anything like Brahms or Mozart, ever. I don't know if he'd heard of them. We heard of all the Italian composers. What was the guy, the Dance of the Hours by Ponchielli. See, all that kind of stuff. Opera was very important. Now I forgot to tell you, I'll retrace. At the end of the feast, after the fireworks and after all the excitement, was the band concert, and all the village amassed before this set-up show, and we'd give a concert. The concert was just Traviata, Poet and the Peasant's Overture, Light Cavalry, scenes and airs from Gioconda, always Italian opera, and that kind of overtures from the Victorian time of when they gave all those plays. So it was very good because I was the concert master, which meant there were 3 clarinets. I was the first one. I carried the part. The others couldn't even make them. So it was like a solo clarinet and 1 trumpet, and then maybe the trombone player was too drunk to play. And so it was, and then there was, of course, I didn't ever give up my basic object. That was it, and I played those feasts time after time. The other jobs, little jobs I worked were like the colleges, sometimes an amateur production. Mostly it was another school I would put on, and the conductor would call me, you know. I could tell you a little bit more about my high school.
Well, this experience you're talking about, do you think that was a good learning experience for you?
Excellent. It was a learning experience first in reading. It was I had to play hard things, you know, and I had to do them. Mm-hmm. And I mean, maybe it wasn't the best, but it was a very good learning experience. You know, maybe my training was the best, but it also was good. He made me into a fairly decent clarinet player.
Were you oblivious to fear at that time? Were you too young to know that?
I never was oblivious. I was always consumed with fear. All kinds of different fears. Fear. If I went to the feast, I feared I would starve to death. That wasn't trying to eat. I was always afraid of playing, always afraid to make mistakes. Always felt that I was really not good enough. And so I was always afraid.
Well, what do you have any theories on why you felt that way?
I know why I felt that way, and I don't think I was completely wrong. I felt that to be a really great player, you ought to have an absolutely very strong innate talent. I didn't feel I had it, and I still don't feel I have it. You know the kind of talent I mean? Talent, for instance, I feel that the least you ought to be able to do is to comfortably hear a tune and pick it up after a little while. Mm-hmm. You ought to have a very, very good ear.
Do you still feel that way?
Yes. To this day.
And so you must...
So I don't want to defeat the image that I have of myself. But the truth of the matter was lack of confidence. I have an average musical equipment, at best.
Have there been any examples of people that were your students that made it to the top of the orchestral world that maybe didn't have this talent?
No. I have one example of it, but his life is miserable as a musician because he's fighting to do it every day. He's fighting to do without talent. What you need talent to, and it betrays him every once in a while. You know what I mean? The natural guy, for instance, a really natural player, he doesn't make many wrong entrances because he's playing by a certain instrument. Mm-hmm. The intellectual player is bright, he's counting perfectly, he misses count, he's finished. I made that demonstration on the stage. You know what I mean? You can play any mechanical instrument, possibly except the violin, with a good degree without really musical talent. But there's a point at which he's miserable. This guy is miserable every day of his life because he's the one that misses. He's the one who will make an occasional mistake. He's the one who he's the one who will goof it all up. And the conductors are down on him. But he struggles through all his life and moves from job to job, from job to job. But whether he was sensitive, maybe I'm empathizing too much, and maybe he could handle that. But he turns out to have one of the worst reputations as a player and one of the worst reputations as a human being. Because he's had a fight, I believe, all his life. I feel that if you do it, you ought to do it like Stanley or like Charlie or like any of those people we heard. You know what I mean? Not that they're not nervous and tense, but they are supremely talented people who have converted the talent into clarinet playing. Now, an average talent could make even more than an average player, you know? When I'm in shape, believe me, nobody in the world would suspect that I have doubts about that. But I'm the person who feels it that way. Sherman asked me this question in his program. He said to me, you read it?
Yeah.
And I think I explained it. It needs more than just the ability to play. And it needs innateness. I believe that a person, some people overcome it. They'll say, this guy was lame and he became a 9-second 100-yard dash man.
Okay, I'm going to have to flip real quick.